financial crisis of 2008 was one of the worst economic crises since the Great Depression. It began mainly in the United States housing market, but because banks and investors around the world were connected, the problems spread globally. To understand what happened, it helps to know a few important financial terms and definitions. Let's learn the important terms, you see, because not the average person watching my video is going to know, like, most of these, okay? Don't lie. A mortgage. What is a mortgage? Well, a mortgage is a long-term contract where a bank loans money so that a person can buy and live in a house, expecting repayment with interest. A loan can technically involve many types. Now, a collateral. What is a collateral? A collateral is a valuable asset that secures the contract of a loan or a mortgage, such as a house or money. However, a collateral can also include other valuable items beyond just currency or financial assets. If a borrower fails to follow the terms of a mortgage, the lender can legally take the collateral away. A default and a delinquency. Default is a long overdue payment on a mortgage, long enough to be officially declared a failed payment, allowing the lender to take the collateral, which can lead to eviction. And a delinquency is more like a warning stage before a default. It usually refers to a mortgage payment that is more than 30 days overdue. A foreclosure. Foreclosure is when the company that owns the mortgage takes the house back and forces the borrower to leave. If the borrower fails to pay the bank the money owed, the mortgage is closed, then the bank sells the house after eviction in order to recover the money is owed. Refinancing means replacing an old mortgage with a new one. This is often done to get a lower interest rate, borrow additional money, or change the length of the loan. Adjustable rate mortgage, or ARM. An adjustable rate mortgage is a mortgage where the bank can increase or decrease the interest rate over time. The loan may start with a low interest and later increase or decrease based on a market interest. Subprime. This is an interesting one, huh? A subprime refers to a loan given to a borrower with poor credit history. Borrowers with strong credit history are given prime loans with lower interest, so less extra money for you to pay, while borrowers with weaker credit history are charged higher interest rates, which are called subprime loans. Speaks for itself. Origination is the process of just creating a new loan. When a bank approves and issues a mortgage to a borrower, that loan is registered as the origination of the loan. This process requires paperwork and official approval and whatnot. Bond is essentially just a loan from an investor to a borrower, and the borrower is legally required to repay the loan with interest. The investor provides the money, and the borrower pays regular interest payments over time. Tranche. A tranche. I don't even know how you pronounce this. Tranche is the French word for slice, referring to the sections of loans. In finance, a tranche is when investment products are divided into layers of risk. Some slices are considered safer, while others riskier. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. MBS. Mortgage-backed security. A mortgage-backed security is an investment product made by combining many home loans into a single package. mortgage. Money. CDO. Collateralized debt obligation. A CDO is similar to an MBS, but can include mortgages, bonds, and other types of debt. Essentially, it is a large bundle of different debts sold as an investment. So, now that you know these definitions, what actually happened? You know, this didn't just happen like during the early 2000s. Banks began issuing large numbers of subprime mortgages. These were home loans given to people with weak credit histories. At first, this seemed fine. Housing prices were rising quickly, and many people believed home prices just always go up. So banks kept lending and lending and lending and lending. Some loans were so risky that giving them out was like letting someone who has never flown a plane suddenly pilot a fighter jet. It might work, but probably not. So the investment problem. Banks did not keep these loans. Instead, they bundled them together using securitization and sold them to investors as MBS and CDOs. Investors around the world bought these investments because they were labeled as relatively safe. But inside those investment bundles were many risky mortgages. So, when things started breaking, eventually, housing prices stopped rising. Borrowers with adjustable rate mortgages who suddenly faced higher interest rates, meaning their monthly payments increased. Many borrowers could not afford the new payments, so they just became delinquent. Then they defaulted, and then banks just began foreclosures. Someone built a giant tower of financial Jenga blocks and then removed the bottom pieces. And the whole thing fell over. You can see this example in the movie The Big Short. I don't know how well this is portrayed. It's very unprofessional. Yeah, so yeah, the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took very long to make, very long to edit. Click off the video!